Rich from the Foiling Mag, here to do a deep dive review on the Reedin ElCapitano foil, which has been released in 5 sizes, from the tiny 575 all the way up to 1695, pitched as their high performance, high speed foil.
So the ElCapitano, I think the aspect ratio sits at about just under 10, 9.5 or something like that. If you look at it from the front, you've got a little bit of moustache going on and a big reflex, quite a pronounced reflex up into these little red wingtips here. Along the trailing edge, which is something we're seeing a lot, is quite a pronounced concave which fades out into the wingtip there. All the fittings and fixtures on this are M6, so it's one tool does it all. And generally, we've just found it a very slimline and elegant system with a lot of stiffness built in. So the mast, for instance, goes in on 2 M6s here, and there's like this kind of taper system which kind of squidges its way into this aluminium fuse here, and because it tapers, it locks it in extremely tightly. The tail here has some adjustability on the pitch, so you literally just slacken those off and you can rock that back and forth for more lift or more speed.
Nice little feature, that.
Yeah.
Especially if you switch between disciplines and you're searching for either low end or searching for top end, you just want a little tool, even when you're out on the water, you can tweak it a bit.
Yeah. No, it's a really nice feature, isn't it? It's good to be able to trim it, particularly cross-discipline. So mast-wise, we've got a pre-preg high modulus mast that's extremely lightweight, I'd say. In the bottom section here, it's really thin again. Another recurring theme of this system is how thin it is. So it's 12.5 mil at the base there, which is about as thin as we see. And then it kind of runs up to a very sturdy and again, elegant looking sort of mast foot. So yeah, it feels extremely slick through the water.
Very.
Is what I'd say.
That was a standout for me, is how good this mast feels.
Yeah.
It's super fast, but at the same time really stiff, and it handles ventilation really, really well.
Yeah. Couple it with like a decent carbon board, and yeah, you can feel exactly what's going on underwater.
Brilliant.
This guy as well has quite a sharp nose, which again seems to make it feel like it's penetrating the water well, pushing through and gliding really efficiently. So yeah, generally we've been getting on very well with it.
I was really surprised when I first jumped on it, because looking at it just in our hands, it's very flat, and I was expecting a foil that was going to be a glider and it was going to sit quite flat-footed and take quite a lot of pressure to roll, but it's very, very lively.
Yeah. The sort of turning radiuses you can achieve with this are really impressive, particularly for a 995, which is a sort of mid-size foil for us, I'd say, on the larger side. You can really crank this thing around a turn.
Yeah, and its roll is really loose. You can really engage it really easily. And it's quite obviously a spanny foil, but it still drops down into that roll very, very easily. Yeah,
there's a really agile feeling to this. So, tip reaching, Chris.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, one of the best I think we've ever tested. You can just go in with so much confidence, and even if it's an accident, it just seems to make a little sucking noise and recover.
Like it's nothing. Like you don't even feel it through your legs. It's amazing.
So it's probably a combination of this little reflex in the tip here, so it's not letting it ventilate that direction, and the thinness of the system as well. But no, it's brilliant.
Resets it in, and it gives you a lot of confidence when you're throwing it around, that even if that tip does come out, it's not going to be an issue. And it's clearly designed as a performance foil. So the first thing that I noticed when I got on it before I got on foil is maybe that it lacks a little bit of bottom end grunt.
Yeah, it needs some power to get going, this thing. It's more like it's a traditional high aspect foil feeling than maybe we've been used to recently. So you need a bit of grunt and you need a bit of board speed to get this thing out of the water.
Then you've got to hold it there, because it's definitely got a stall speed at its bottom, which is quite abrupt.
Yeah.
You find it and you know you found it.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely tells you if it's not going quick enough. The top end though, like that's where this thing absolutely thrives.
Yeah.
Is when it's in its comfortable bottom end speed range. Its top end is really, really high for its size. Like you can chuck this into quite a big wave and it will hold on.
It takes it really well.
Yeah.
It's quite pitch sensitive in its feel, and I feel that almost goes hand in hand with its speeds in that you can trim it very, very quickly. And it's probably not so forgiving if you're not ready to do that. It's definitely not a beginner's foil.
No, definitely not. Like I'd say this is intermediates and above, but you will glean a hell of a lot of performance out of it, particularly in its little tight turning radius and its breachability. It's very playful, but certainly not for the faint-hearted. Took me a couple of sessions to dial into, and we both ride a lot of different foils. We normally adjust pretty quickly, but once I did, I found quite a lot of confidence in it, I'd say.
It's got quite a unique feel.
Yeah.
In how, and especially the pump I found particularly unique because it's quite pitch sensitive in how quickly it changes, but also quite pitch sensitive in its stall speed.
Yeah.
So because it's so high aspect, if you pitch it up too much, it stalls quite abrupt. But at the same time, its pump needs a lot of energy. I found like you need to stamp really hard, but if you stamped so hard that it pitched up too much, it would stall out. So there's quite a unique kind of nuance as to how to find the energy from the foil.
Yeah. What I got most out of it was winging quickly in sort of, you know, smallish, mid-size waves with this size. And yeah, you could just run out to the shoulder, but when you put a turn in, it was nice and tight.
Yeah.
You know, there was no long drawn out turns. You could really jam it around a corner.
And whatever happened with the wave, you kind of got the confidence with this foil that if it does rack up, it can take the drop.
Yeah, and if it breaches, you don't even know about it. So it's a massive positive.
So who do you think it's for?
I think you've got to be quite a high level to ride this. I think this is intermediates and above strictly, but you're going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah. But it's particularly in maybe the smaller sizes and looking at the size range.
Yeah.
It's going all the way down to 575. That's a toe weapon.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you, the big ones are going to be so nice, efficient and glidey. So like a 1695 is going to be ideal for downwinding, and that's probably going to have a lot more bottom end as well. So yeah, it's a very complete range.
Well put together as well, worth talking about the fixtures.
Really nice. So you get this beautiful little kind of accessories bag. Everything is labelled, all the bolts, you know where they all go. It's a very complete and well thought out system.
Reedin have clearly put a lot of time into the foil and the system as a whole. Isn't it?
So El Capitano is a spicy little number, we'd say.
Definitely worth checking out as a speed demon.
A speed demon, good way of putting it.
Reedin ElCapitano.
El Capitano. El Capitano.